So checking out Smooth Love Potion, it looks like that bounce in the markets that we had yesterday seems to be over and done with. Most of the cryptos that started bouncing yesterday are now in the dust again. Unfortunately, SLP is down as well. You can see SLP is down approximately between 5 and 6% as of the time of recording this. What's also interesting is if we draw our previous impulse Fibonacci down to your candle body close, you can see, your last line in the sand is down here, your 786 fib. What we've recently done is yesterday we had that pump up. If we zoom out, you can see we can connect the bottoms. You can see that you've made a higher low, but on the flip side of things, you've come up to your 786 Fibonacci and you've confirmed it as resistance. That is your last line in the sand for this entire impulse that we've just done for SLP. So from a technical perspective, in my opinion, I think this trend is best defined by daily candles. But however, I think even if you come over to the weekly, you can see, even if you would argue that this would be a weekly pattern and it's not invalidated until you have a weekly close, we've already had a weekly close below this pattern. So unfortunately, this entire impulse that we've recently been running off for Smooth Love Potion is invalidated. In the higher time frames, it does seem like bears are running out of momentum. And if we do check out your oscillators, I mean, there's really not much left to sell for SLP. Bear in mind, SLP is extremely hyperinflationary as well, so just because there's not any of the supply to be dumped on the market today, if a couple of Axie players keep on smashing out the game, then the inflation rate for SLP will just continue to go through the roof. And I think that's why we're seeing this. Even though you see huge spikes in the money flow indicator, like we came up to 95, and we had a dead cat bounce to where we were previously downtrending, like a couple of weeks before that. So these dead cat bounces in SLP are very unfortunate. They are good to trade if you are a trader trying to catch a wave, because you can see a lot of the time we find a bottom, we have a huge spike, and then we dump. We've been doing it for SLP's entire existence. You can see huge spike, huge dump, huge spike, huge dump, huge spike, huge dump, huge spike, huge dump. So I really do think the trend is your friend until the end on this one. It seems like the markets seem to be extra spooked about the Fed meeting that is coming between the 3rd and the 4th, so we should have that all wrapped up in the next couple of days. Until then, I would definitely be sitting on the sidelines. Like we've been saying for the past week or so, if you've watched my SLP videos, in this entire ordeal of candles, we were saying, potentially expect lower price targets, especially if you move below your 786, and at which point it's best to sit on the sidelines because there's no bottoming signals playing out right now. The only thing that I could think about that could potentially reverse us out of something like this is potentially if we W'd out, or if we set up a inverse head and shoulder and then reversed out of this region after confirming the lows as support, inverse head and shoulder, breaking above the 786 Fibonacci, getting us back into an uptrend. Something like that is the only thing that I can think about that would make SLP bullish once again. But looking at this objectively, we haven't seen anything like that right now. All we've seen is, a dump, a slight pump. We've come up to your 4-hourly EMAs and you've got a rejection. It reminds me of what we did here. Big dump, pump back into the top of the EMA ribbons, and then we're already in this phase where we've started to roll down because we weren't able to get above the 4-hourly EMAs. So as I always say in my videos, the trend is your friend until the end. I do not plan on dollar cost averaging SLP at these price targets. Even though your oscillators are completely beat down, people are very worried about this this Fed meeting that's going to be going on in the next few days. Bitcoin doesn't look the greatest. The stock market is definitely on edge right now. You've got blue chip stocks like Tesla, Facebook, and Coinbase plummeting. So I do not think if you've got blue chip stocks like, Tesla that have, recently dumped, what was it? Was it like 10% in the past week? I mean, they went almost down to 20% down. They're currently sitting at 12% down. If you've got blue chip stocks like Tesla, and your stock market just in general nosediving off the face of this earth, I don't think it's the perfect time to be picking up Smooth Love Potion, if I'm honest. But yeah, in theory, we've made a higher low from these lows. As long as we hold this trend line, then I guess we could potentially see ourselves out of this downtrend after a while. We don't even necessarily need to come down to it, In theory, in this micro trend, as long as you stay above 1145, then we could potentially be getting ready for a W out of this region. But like I said, you know, your oscillators may be oversold, even your Bitcoin logarithmic growth curves. Like, if we zoom in, you're in your absolutely lowest Fibonacci possible before you come down to one deviation oversold. And this orange line here, one deviation oversold, is historically always the bottom, apart from this one time where we momentarily for a month and a half broke below it. So, you know, when you do come down to this absolutely lowest Fibonacci band, you're pretty much near the bottom. So while Bitcoin could have a little bit more room to the downside, just to absolutely shake out all the bears before our next parabolic run, you know, do bear in mind that a quick move to the downside for SLP could mean a huge flush out. So I don't try, or I'm not planning on trying to catch the falling knife on this trade. It's going to be the same with Axie Infinity, which I am about to go check out what is going on now. So if you want Axie Infinity analysis alongside SLP, I cover both of them on my channel, so just go check out my channel. I will be posting an Axie video at the same time as I post this SLP video today. So that's all I've got. As always, not financial advice. Cowboy out, and yeah, peace.